Welcome back, historians. Today we'll be exploring the importance of the Battle of Vicksburg. But first, let's review some key points from last lesson so that we can remember and set ourselves up for success for today's lesson. Last class, we talked about Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. In the Gettysburg Address, Lincoln shifted his opinion from neutrality of slavery to actually fighting the war to end slavery in the northern continent of America. The Gettysburg Address shifted the focus of the war to freedom for all people. And because he emancipated the slaves in the South, now the newly free Southern black men were inspired to fight for the Union. We also talked about the Anaconda Plan, the Union's plan to defeat the Confederacy. Phase 1 was to stop any international trade that the Confederacy had. Phase 2 is to split the Confederacy in half by using the Mississippi and Ohio rivers. Now, New Orleans had already been captured by the Union forces, so they had control of the southern part of the Mississippi River and all of the ports. The Union also had a stronghold on the northern part of the river. Phase 3 was to capture the capital, Richmond, Virginia. Now, of all of the South, you had to control the entirety of the Mississippi River in order to gain control, which the Union did not have control of the entirety of the Mississippi River just yet. There was still one area that the Confederate forces held on to in the Mississippi, and that was in Vicksburg, Missouri. So the city of Vicksburg was on top of a very large hill or cliff overlooking the Mississippi River. All the Confederate forces had to do in order to maintain a stronghold on the city of Vicksburg was put some cannons up on the hill pointed at the Mississippi, and they would just shoot down any steamboat that they saw that was enemy forces. General Grant, determined to take victory for the Union and enact the total Anaconda Plan, decided Union steamboats were going to position themselves strategically throughout the Mississippi River and shoot cannons up at the top of the cliff to Vicksburg. By land, General Grant and his troops would go up the 300-foot hill and attack the city for 6 months. No one could go in and no one could go out. So all of the Confederate forces in Vicksburg and the civilians that were trapped there were slowly running out of resources. They were reduced to eating their horses, other livestock that they owned, and even pets to survive the siege. After 6 months, they just ran out of food. Confederate troops were forced to surrender and give the city of Vicksburg over to the Union. The Battle of Vicksburg marks the completion of Phase 2 of the Anaconda Plan. Now the southern territories were effectively split in half because of the Mississippi River, and they were no longer able to use the Mississippi to transport any goods, food, weaponry to any of the Confederate troops. It also was an advantage for the Union because they were able to ship troops down the river to go fight in the South. Now, all that was left for the Union to do to complete the Anaconda Plan was take over the city of Richmond, Virginia, the capital of the Confederate forces. But maybe we'll talk about that next lesson. For now, please go ahead and do your independent practice, answering complete sentences when appropriate, and make sure you're following all the directions. Reach out to our office hours if you need any help. Remember, they're every day from 12 to 1 p.m. A link is in your Google Classroom. Good luck, historians!